Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back for episode 3 of The Acolyte. The first 2 episodes I thought were a lot of fun. Did they have a couple issues? Sure, but overall, I really enjoyed what we got in there. I think the mystery was set up very nicely. I like the cast and crew of characters that we have so far, and I'm really excited to see where this goes, especially considering a lot of what I would have assumed the mystery would have been about from the trailers has already kind of been given to us. So what is left for the remainder of the series, other than obviously what did the Jedi do, why is this happening, and who is the master? So with that all said, guys, let's get ready to jump in. If you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you come to the channel, get you access as well. It is a watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up the time codes to me reaction the entire episode. Over there, you get the same thing for all the other shows and movies we cover the channel. You also get to suggest and vote on what movies to react to each month. We got monthly Q&As, behind-the-scenes footage, trying to make it worth your while, since you're going to support the channel. But guys, at the end of the day, I really appreciate it. Enjoy this reaction. To at least leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. With that all said and out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into episode 3, Destiny. Here we go. Brendock, 16 years earlier. So we're just gonna jump right into it. Okay.
How did you know I was here? When I can't find you, I look here. Let it go, May. Stop! Why do you always have to do things like that?
I mean...
Why do you always run off alone?
Huh. She did the same thing, but then she got on her for doing exactly what she was just doing.
Always one, born as two. As above sits the stars, and below lies the sea. I give you you, and you give me me.
Aww, cute.
How many times have I told you? It is not safe out here.
Sorry, Mother Coral.
There will be consequences for breaking the rules.
It isn't fair. I'm old enough to go outside the fortress walls.
The rules are for your safety.
Oh, they're part of a coven. Wait, they're not Night Sisters, are they? Or some offshoot? Oh, there's Soul. Oh, that's cool. Whoa. Not just the fortress, but the... would you even call those sons? I don't know what you would call that.
Some spice creams?
Those are not for little girls who run away from home.
Let them have some spice creams.
Mama!
My sweet girls must have sweet treats.
Oh, that marking.
I told you this planet would be safe haven for our coven.
It is not going to stay safe if Osha keeps running away.
You want to say something?
As our leader, I've always deferred to you when raising the twins. But you're too lenient. A firm hand is required.
Osha is testing our boundaries. It's normal behavior for a child.
The twins are not normal children.
That's a common theme in Star Wars, man.
All living things are connected by the same thread. A thread woven through all of existence.
Yeah.
Some call it a force and claim to use it. Pull the thread, change everything. It ties you to your destiny. It binds you to others.
I love when we get the Force from other people's perspectives.
The power of one.
Pay attention.
The power of two.
A rule of 2, one might say.
Pay attention. Stop distracting me.
Oh my god.
Girls,
Let go!
your enemies will not warn you before they attack. Get up. Block me.
Oh wow, one receded while the other got in front.
Excellent, May. Osha,
I expect more from you.
Girls, to your room. What is troubling you, Osha?
She's nervous about tonight.
Is this true?
She's scared.
Let your sister answer.
I don't want to do the Ascension, but that's how we become witches.
There it is.
I don't know if I want to be a witch. Of course you want that. No, you want that.
Ascension is about walking through fear. It is about sacrificing a part of yourself. The power of many instead of the power of one. You think you want something different than life
Like the
in this
voices, the whispers.
That is because you are young. The galaxy is not a place that welcomes women like us, witches who have the abilities we do. You and your sister are special, Osha. I want you to stay special.
Now, we know there's other covens of witches, not just the Dathomiri and stuff like that, or just that specific sect with Talzin and Ventress and the ones we know. We know there's other offshoots, but I love that they have this connecting thread, because when we saw in Ahsoka as well, a lot of that was about the thread of destiny, you know, them reading the threads and all of that. I like this expansion of it.
Because I want to do everything together all the time. But why? Because we're not the same. Of course we are. No, it feels that way because we're the only children here. Don't you wonder what could be out there besides Brendock? No. Why not? Everything I need is here.
No. She's called to adventure, though, to explore. She questions. That was wicked. Hear the whispers.
Tonight we enact a ceremony we have not performed since our exile.
Exile.
We were hunted, persecuted, forced into hiding, all because some would consider our power dark, unnatural. We were on the brink of extinction. And then we were blessed with a miracle, the gift of life.
I love how you can just see the difference in their
Claim your destiny.
composure.
What the thread has tied together, no one can separate.
That eclipse or whatever that is awesome looking.
The power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
Oh, whoa.
Mayho Aniseya, do you vow upon my death to protect the secrets of our coven and continue our legacy?
I do.
Oh, is she gonna receive her spiral? Yep.
Marosha Aniseya, do you vow upon my death to protect
Marosha.
the secrets of our coven and continue our legacy?
I do.
Doesn't sound all that confident.
The Jedi! They've sliced the platform.
Oh, they're here to snuff out this.
Do not move. Do not make a sound.
Put down your weapons. No violence.
I am Master Indara, and these are my colleagues, Sol, Kelnacca, and my Padawan Torbin. Forgive our intrusion. We thought this planet was uninhabited.
The all-knowing Jedi were ignorant of their surroundings. I find that hard to believe.
We mean you and your coven no harm.
And yet here you are, unannounced, armed.
Look at their robes. How they wear their sabers. Get back here.
Oh, she's like, Jedi, cool.
What do you want? We are concerned that you are training children.
There are no children here.
Come out. We won't hurt you.
What is your name?
Osha.
My name is Soul.
Osha.
May we meet your sister? Where is their father?
They have no father.
That marking, it wasn't there this morning.
You're spying on us?
They want to take our children!
The Jedi do not take children.
Hold your tongue or I cut it out for you!
Soul, no.
Yeah.
I think you would make a very good Jedi, Osha. Would you like to be tested and see if you could become one?
Yes, please.
Aww.
Father?
Oh, whoa.
If you want your Padawan returned to his right mind, I suggest you all leave.
Mama, I want to show them what you taught me. Please let me take the test.
The scouts will bring Osha to your camp at midday.
Her sister, too.
That wasn't part of the deal, but sure, I
Did
guess.
not bring the girls into this world so we could lose them to a bunch of deranged monks.
It is not your decision. It is mine.
I carried them.
I created them.
And what happens if the Jedi discover how you created them?
Interesting. This could lead then some major credence to that old Plagueis theory, man.
They take you, I will stop them. No one's taking me. The Jedi are bad. The Jedi are good.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it. Right now, you want to be a Jedi. But as you grow, what you want, it changes, it shifts. Like the seasons. In winter, we hunt with bunta. In summer, with bows and arrows.
But we still hunt. That doesn't change.
I understand what she's trying to say to her as well, but, you know, Osha's also not wrong. They're just trying to do what's best, and she's just curious about what else is out there.
May, I don't want to lie. I want to say what's in my heart. You have to lie.
May! You will go first!
In this test, you must divine what images appear on the testing screen. Tell us what you see.
A spaceship.
Correct. How about this next one?
A mountain.
Correct.
That wasn't a
Tricked. Ha
Did someone tell you to fail this test?
Soul's, smart.
I was younger than you are. When the Jedi tested me, I was only 4. I was very scared to leave my family. But when I joined the Jedi, I found out there were many other children like me.
There are other children there?
Thousands like us. But you must have the courage to say what you want.
I want to be a Jedi.
Then you must have the courage to tell the truth.
She knew immediately.
She promised she would fail, and she broke her promise. I told the truth. I didn't want to lie. You lied to me.
That man used his Jedi mind tricks on her.
No, he didn't. I told him I wanted to be a Jedi because I do.
You don't mean that.
I do. I want my own life. I don't want to share it with May. I want to see the galaxy. Don't want to be a witch. What's wrong with you?
Go and take a walk, May. Take a walk with Mother Coral. Destiny is not decided for you by an anonymous force. You get to make a choice. If you want to pull the thread, then pull it.
I'll never see you again.
You won't. Fear should not make this decision, Osha. You should.
I want to be a Jedi, Mama. I do.
I just noticed at the center of the spiral is a yin-yang balance.
You can't go. We're stuck here now. It's not up to you. You can't stop me. Yes, I can. How? I'll kill you.
Oh, what? Wow.
Mama! Help me!
Well, May did start the fire. It looks like Vader's helmet. But yeah, twins, and one's definitely pulled towards one side versus the other. They embody the balance, like Anakin, just hundreds of years beforehand. I did have a theory long since that maybe every generation has their one, kind of like the Avatar. Anakin was just the one for the period we were introduced to. But they were like created through manipulation of the Force, it seems like. But also, what in the world? Bridges, man, bridges in Star Wars.
Where's Mama? Mama's dead. What have you done?
What happened?
What have you done? What have you done?
Wow. Did May do all of this herself? Though it is, them being here like immediately is a little suspicious. Oh, wow. What the hell? What the fuck?
Mama?
Yeah, there used to be a lot of EU illusions that Anakin was the result of an experiment with the Force as well, with life.
Okay, Osha. You're going to be okay.
So what the fuck happened? We didn't see any lightsabers flailing around, but they were there. But May also tried to kill her. Did May do all of this and frame them? Or
May started a fire. It destroyed everything.
You have to go back. We have to go back.
No, we can't.
We must.
There is nothing back there.
there's got to be a truth somewhere in the middle here, and we still aren't seeing it. Because why would Torbin do what Torbin did if they didn't have a hand in some of what happened?
You're going to be okay, Osha. You will never feel like this again. I promise.
All right, man. What a wild episode. Before we get into things, man, I do want to kind of address some of my criticisms of this. This might have been the clunkiest episode of the three that we have seen so far. The pacing was really weird, the dialogue, and I don't know how much of it is the words themselves or the execution of them, but there was a lot of really clunky dialogue all throughout this. And hey, they're kids. I'm not going to be too harsh on them, but they didn't help the dialogue at all in like 90% of those scenes between Osha and May. There were some times where I was just like, this dialogue is rough right now, man. It's just like everything around it, like what it was trying to do, I really liked, especially the exploration of the lore, the diving into the things that we are learning about this coven. Loved all of that. But like, it's just the execution in a lot of these scenes, whether it's not with the Jedi, all that's fine. Every interaction with the Jedi, every interaction with the Coven themselves, for the most part, was kind of fine. I think any of the interactions between any of the adults and the children, or the children within themselves, was very rough. But outside of that, man, I really enjoyed what this episode was trying to do and what it was trying to accomplish. I did see that for some of the people that got to see the first 4 episodes early, they were warning people, especially if you were barely hanging on with Disney Star Wars, that episode 3 was going to be what cuts you loose completely, calling it absolutely lore breaking and all this kind of stuff. And honestly, I understand the frame of mind people are going to use to get to that point, but if you actually have been following everything for a really long time, even back into the EU, because this dives into some really deep EU stuff, this isn't lore breaking at all. Like, in the slightest. None of this is. You know, there's been a long-standing, not even theory, like there is a vast amount of evidence when you're diving through the EU pre-Disney stuff that suggests that Plagueis had a hand in creating Anakin. There's a lot of these elements that tie Anakin's mere existence, not to the Force, but to the Sith meddling with midichlorians, with life, with Plagueis's attempt to replicate that. You know, there's a lot of those things that, and this just kind of ties right into that. And what if these ones, these Force beings, these people that are meant to exude some kind of balance or control over everything, this is how they are born? Or this is just attempt to replicate that, much like with Palpatine and the dyad thing. As much as I don't really like the whole dyad idea, this could be their attempt at bringing about some kind of being into the world that represents these things. However, because it's twins, they are fractured. You know, unlike Anakin, who embodied both sides but got manipulated and corrupted and gave more attention to one of those sides than the other, this time they are, in and of themselves, the embodiments of each side individually, separated. The only thing keeping them in balance is their connection and their unity together, that thread that ties them together. But where Osha wants to go out into the world, she's willing to sever that tie, and May can't compute the world without that connection, and she's unraveling because of that. Like, it's a great representation of how light keeps the darkness in check, or how the daughter kept the son in check, how the father and that whole unity kept everything together in this way, because the second the light is out of there, she's just a wild card. She starts this fire and all this kind of stuff, you know, so it's not wholly lore breaking in any sense. If anything, it just adds context to some other things that we're seeing. And, you know, like I talked about in the reaction as well, there's other ways in which I kind of perceived that maybe every generation has their one. And I had always posited, much like the Avatar scenario as well, is what happens when the Avatar is born into twins. Like, will they just be split? Will only one of them be the Avatar? Or in this, and what I thought was eventually going to be the case in the sequel trilogy, which they didn't go this route at all, was be that if, yes, there were twins, but instead of the balance carrying on, the balance existed in two people from the same birth. So you have the light side in one child, you have the dark side in the other, and they got to work it out. Or whatever, I don't know. So I think that might be kind of what's happening here. But as far as being lore breaking, it's not at all. It's really just drudging up old lore that I feel like a lot of people probably forgot about. But even so, even just because it is something that's been referenced before, or something that has come up before, it doesn't mean you have to like it. I mean, it's not one of the things I loved from the EU at all. I never really liked it, but it is something that has been there for a long time. And I don't necessarily think that this evidence outright, or even what we saw in this outright, discounts, changes, or whatever our perception of what happens with Anakin later, because we at least know that that is the will of the Force, or at least something we can't quite put our finger on when we see these elements of the father, of the son, of the daughter, of the prophecy that they, again, misread may have been. The fact that it exists, there's something supernatural, something beyond natural that brought Anakin into this world, and it plays a part in his role later. That doesn't mean that this negates that. This can exist all on its own thing. It could be their artificial attempt to Paul Atreides this stuff and manufacture their chosen one, or manufacture a copy of what is foretold and make it their own. It could be all its own thing, and maybe even lay the groundwork for Plagueis and his attempted manipulation of midichlorians. Who knows? But I feel like this is going to be the thing that's used as this scapegoat for veiled criticism. You know, we got a coven full of women, blah, 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 not enough white men, blah, 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 women touching each other's faces, oh my God, it's way too gay. If your criticism of this even involves the word woke, it just gets deleted in my comment section, man. So use your brain. Like, I gave you real criticisms here, man. Like, I think the acting wasn't that great in this episode. I think the story structure in this episode was not very good, and the dialogue was not that great. The ideas and the things that were being explored here, I did find really interesting, though, where we were exploring their perspective and their point of view on the Force itself and how that is counter to the Jedi's. I always love when we get that out of Star Wars, when we get other people's versions of the Force, or at least perceptions of the Force, but especially from other practitioners of the Force, whether it's the Dathomiri witches, these witches here, or any other people outside of the Sith and Jedi and how they view it. I always love that exploration. And I really liked a lot of those elements in here, especially the way that they view the Force, not as this, thing that forces its will upon all of life and existence, but as this tapestry, these threads that just connect everything together in this gigantic picture. And that if you choose, you can exact your will upon it and pull threads out from that tapestry and move and define destiny to your own wishes. That's how they see it. They are weavers, much like the Dathomiri. I don't know if this is like a precursor Dathomiri. We never really get the name of these witches here. They're on a completely different planet. I don't know. We know there's different sects of witches all throughout Star Wars. Even on Dathomir, there are different covens that practice in different ways. I just like that they have this common thread that connects them all, that they view everything through this thread, like the three witches, like the three fates, and the way that they kind of weave and control and glean destiny. I like that. I like all that. But I like the philosophical differences between the Jedi and them, and obviously them being on the outskirts, the Jedi having a dominant power and foothold in the galaxy at this point in time. So they are out here kind of policing these other practitioners of the Force that they are probably a little threatened by. They, like they said in this, like people perceive our way of utilizing the Force as dark. But at the end of the day, when we're here, when we're with them, it just seems like balance. They say not to make decisions based on fear, or given into these negative emotions. The pattern that they brand themselves with has the yin and yang in it. It has this balance in it. And through this act of creation that they've enacted upon the world, they've created balance in a way. Unfortunately, they are not in a single being. Separating them can bring things out of balance. Osha is pulled towards the light. She wants to be honest. She doesn't like violence. She's the last person to throw hands, which is why when she gets into trouble, May is the one torturing the butterflies. She's the one that's totally okay with lying. She's the one okay with violence. When they were, in confrontation, May jumped in front and she was the one defending and attacking back. She's the one that was all for doing that. And obviously, when she got threatened with separation from her started this fire. However, the Jedi definitely used that as a scapegoat. There's no way that this is the full picture. Why were they there to begin with? We know they were spying on them. They were keeping tabs. Also, why were they there? If not for just kind of seeing if they are a threat or something that needs to be wiped out. I presume they were even there. That was why they were there. That's why they got, okay, oh shit, there's kids here. Let's give them a test, see if we can get them away from all of this, because I feel like they were planning on wiping this place out. At this point in time, the Jedi are very much so trying to make sure that their foothold doesn't crumble beneath their feet, that there's not this darkness rising out there. So they're overexerting their authority, and I think that's kind of what's happening here when they get word of this coven out here, exiled in practice, and caught word that they had children, and was like, oh, can't be having that. Because he even knew, it was like, hey, she didn't have that mark this morning. So, they heard people scuffling around inside their own walls, and I presume that was Sol, because we saw him in the woods also keeping tabs on them as well. So they were definitely here under some shady reasons. They just conveniently, because of all of this, it just caused this rift to grow ever wider, because it gave Osha an out. She always wanted to leave, but they gave her the opportunity by merely being there, and then that just happened to sync up with everything else. And May and her inability to rationalize with all this caused her to retaliate, It's like, hey, if I can't have you, no one will. And she tried to kill her. What if that wasn't even her? What if that was like a Force illusion or some shit? I don't know. Because I just feel like May's so confused about everything. But then again, she was a little delusional. Let's be honest. So who knows? We haven't spent any time with May yet. So I really want to get more of her side of the story. What she saw, what she witnessed, all of that. And who knows? We'll see what happens. Because what if they made it appear as if May was going to do all of that sort of stuff and Osha just believed it? What if it was a Jedi mind trick like her mothers were worried about? I'm curious to see where all that's going to go. But obviously, the Jedi had some kind of underhanded tactic and involvement in what took place here. Otherwise, why would Torbin have done what Torbin did? Why do they carry all this guilt around? Because I can't believe that it's merely just because of, oh no, this all happened because we were merely around and this caused them to unravel all on their own. And I don't believe that May would have I don't know, man. May was pretty powerful on her own because she was able to hold off their mother just by herself. But I don't know. That's the dark side, man. A lot of power, real easy. And we know that Osha struggles with it as well. But again, the rift accentuated by a bridge, classic Star Wars. Again, Osha, and I don't know why I never made this connection to the organization, the real world organization, Osha. And she's a worker out there doing ship repairs and stuff like that. And then on this bridge, it collapsed, which shows that there's probably a vast amount of OSHA violations in this place, which is kind of hilarious. I'm excited to see where they go with this, though. We'll have to wait and see, because there's definitely more to this picture than we've got right now. And I'm really wondering how this is going to go. Like, how are they going to reveal it? Are we going to get another flashback? Because this was primarily, I think, from Osha's point of view. Maybe we get May's point of view. Maybe we'll get the Jedi's point of view on this day. I think we'll get to see different frames of mind until we build together maybe the truth of what actually happened here over the course of the season. But guys, what'd you all think? Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full length reaction, check it out over on Patreon, or if you're a member of the channel, get you access as well. And speaking before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Manny, Sherritt, Yord, Scott, Melito, Robert, Onguionu, Jeffrey L, Jake Control, Eric Official, Casey Wood, and Russell Crockett. Thank you guys so much for continued support. But that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. But until then, may the Force be with you always. Take care, everybody.